some more vibraphone, this little bubbly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vibraphone was like one of the last things that we recorded on this song. Chase Jackson played vibraphone. So let's listen to that main vibes part. And that's all happening while you're building your main vocal part over it.
Reckless, reckless, ooh, reckless, reckless. I want to be reckless, reckless. I wanna be reckless.
And something else that I think really changes the flavor from the verses is that we go from that tom part that we were listening to before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we go to like a shaker, and I think Matsu's playing on his lap like this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Reckless, reckless, ooh, reckless, reckless.
So start to get some of these flavors. That's doubling the like a sampled harp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
And something that happens throughout the arrangement is that like we took these organic textures and I started layering them with less organic textures to bring out certain elements of those melodies. A little bit of like a magic realism thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I just saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon again recently, so maybe that's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the world that you're describing in the lyrics, the sort of like urge to just like break free,
Mm-hmm.
it evokes like hints of magical realism that then like ultimately blossom into a fuller thing. And so that's what, at least to my ears, when we start with something super, you know, real and earthy and textural, like that, like the guitar, and then we add this like weird harp texture that's not real, it starts to give us a little bit of that. Here's the second verse.
Have you heard about the moon, all the secrets she contains? Oh, she will never tell, but she will look at us with aloof understanding. Is that your hand on my waistband? I am the only drunk girl at the party. I am the only drunk girl at the party. Lionesses are lioning with.
Yeah, so there's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
We get like these little like tastes of strings here leading into the chorus.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of like call and response between the lead vocal and those parts.
Have you heard about the moon, all the secrets she contains? Oh, she will never tell, but she will look at us with aloof understanding. Is that your hand on my waistband?
I also think that that's a big moment because it's the first, your main vocal loop and the melody, it's all very diatonic. It's all very major and actually kind of pentatonic. It like lives in like a very simple one chord world. But something that's fun with your songs is looking for ways to use that as a basis and then sort of like stretch away from it, you know? And so this one moment is where your melody is like very pentatonic, but then we reinforce it with this chord that has some other notes that we wouldn't expect in it.
Is that your hand on my waistband? I am the only drunk girl at the party.
And we get some call and response with the flute and clarinet, and we've got a couple layers going on there. I think that's Chase on the vibes with Jeff on the woodwinds.
I am the only drunk girl at the party. I am the only drunk girl at the party. I am the
Yeah. And then meanwhile, bass, we have a third layer here, which is this concert bass drum. conversation between these different elements that kind of like sync up at certain moments and then break apart. Oh, this is one of my favorite things. This is Chase on the vibes.
Oh.
And I want to say I wrote Chase a bunch of parts to play, but he also came up with a lot of cool shit, and that was definitely his idea.
Oh. Oh.
So that's the clarinet and flute parts that we had in this section right before. They get reversed in the section that follows.
Oh. Yeah, cool. It really is like there's an accumulation of elements, but also sort of like a disintegration of what's real and what's not, and the verses, the distinction between the verses and the chorus, those worlds start to like,
Yeah, absolutely.
play with each other.
Absolutely. And whereas the first chorus, I feel like its surprise comes down, the end of this second verse actually blossoms a little more into the second chorus.
This is your chance. I want to be.
And the second chorus becomes a little more earned than like dropping the floor out, you know, the way the first one did. Should we talk about this Steve Reich part?
Yeah.
This was also a pretty late addition.
Yeah. I did this in my closet.
So the idea for this came from Steve Reich's Music for 18 Musicians. Have you ever heard that?
No.
Well, let's listen to it. So basically, I think what you did here was that you took a note, right?
Uh-huh.
And then took several notes and built a chord with them. And then there's sort of like differences in articulation and dynamics. And you get this fun vocal texture. It makes it a much more dynamic texture when tucked into everything else.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can hear that.
This is your chance. This is your chance.
And I think we layered that with a bunch of other things. We've got our strings, flood pad again. That we can get to.
Yeah, that's lovely. It's moved into its own distinctive world from Ernest Iron and Wine place.
Also, now we have like violin and viola. Violin, I think, was Amanda Lowe. Viola, Elise Frawley. And Jeff again on clarinet. We've got some flugelhorn in there as well. That was Tatum Greenblatt. Originally, if I remember correctly, Dana Lynn wrote some really gorgeous string parts for us when we played this live. Between then and when we recorded it, the song underwent a lot of changes structurally and otherwise. So I think we sort of built on Dana's string parts, both as far as like I wrote more wind parts, but then we adapted the string parts and changed them with a new song. But I feel like she came up with some really interesting impressionistic gestures, and that flavor is definitely there throughout the track, even where the parts are not necessarily what she originally wrote. Like the kind of taste of them is still there for sure. So harp again, harp synthy thing.